HUT stock. This is HUT8. So oh crap, Bitcoin's like crashing as I started the video. Wow. Okay, so as you know, I've been short Mara for several weeks, and I just put on a BITO short on the BTC yesterday at this resistance. And so I was going to say here, we're breaking down out of the bear flag, and this thing could rip to the downside, and I was a little late. um, wow, it just did that. Like as I was turning on the freaking as I was turning on the video, it was up here before, like when I started the video. Okay, but anyway, the whole thing about BTC, like what's going on here behind the scenes, is that the Craig Wright Satoshi Nakamoto court case finished. It ruled in Craig Wright's favor, and now there is potential legal action coming towards BTC, which is not technically a fork. It's a separate blockchain, but it's a copy of like a fraudulent, allegedly potentially fraudulent copy of the actual Satoshi blockchain. And so, yeah, so the like the code is open source. It's MIT. You can look at the code and copy that, but you cannot rewrite the protocol, and you cannot steal the blockchain, like the database with all the data in it. Those are, and you can't call that copy Bitcoin because the owner or creator of Bitcoin has rights to all that stuff. So that is not like coming out in the news right now, but if you go watch a ton of Craig Wright videos, he'll tell you all about it. And he's saying things like, you know, I don't want any like well-intentioned like, you know, developers that don't really know what's going on here to get in trouble. But if you if you stand in my way of, you know, putting Bitcoin like to what it's supposed to be in the white paper, like you're going to end up with like a criminal record, basically. So this is the big thing that's going on behind the scenes for Bitcoin on the macro. But let me just look at Bitcoin, and let's look at the miners. And this is a HUT8 video, so I'll do HUT8 first, but I'll go through the other miners. But in any case, just on the technicals here on Bitcoin, this is a pretty crispy little bear flag, as I was saying yesterday, and I shorted the resistance here, and man, it's just like raining as I'm making the video. This is crazy. Yeah, so in any case, this is a pretty obvious bear flag, and I was saying yesterday it's probably, you know, 70% to break to the downside, just because it's pretty well formed bear flag, and this is a super long-term, like 4 or 5 year kind of bubble trend line that we're blowing as we bear flag. So the downside on the technicals is pretty large. I mean, it's about the height of this stab, which would put us down somewhere around here. Mid-30s or something like that was kind of the target. And it could absolutely rain just like this one did. Yeah, anyway, that's Bitcoin. But let's go to the HUT and check out HUT8. And then we can flip through some other miners. Okay, so HUT8. This downtrend line is not. Oh, I'm on the hourly. Hold on. Yeah, let me get back on the daily chart. Right on. Now lines are lining up. All right, so this one I couldn't really find, you know, like bearish sort of lines. Like it did like a little bear shelf kind of maneuver here, and so that looks a little risky, but it was still holding above kind of the bullish trend here, and now it's starting to pull down here. So this particular chart does not look as bearish as some other miners, but this is kind of a weird chart with kind of difficult technicals here. But we have a support level here at around $5 or whatever, And these downtrends are not, I mean, this is a pretty steep downtrend, but yeah, yeah, I wouldn't and I didn't short this thing, just because the technicals are kind of difficult. And also, the stock is not that bubbled up compared to some other miners as far as a short play. Um, but not investment advice. I think we have like a couple of weeks of of downside potential in Bitcoin right now, and we have a little bit of potential downside in the general markets at the same time. And so I have 0 longs right now. I'm just like cash and puts for the moment. And yeah, anyway, this is hut 8. So I mean, this kind of trend line, I guess, would be like a ridiculous target, but this is like less than $1. Going from 16 to like 50 cents would be pretty crazy. But if Bitcoin does start crashing, there's, well, not really a glitch in Bitcoin, but if the price comes down like fast enough, mining becomes unprofitable, and so miners will stop. Like they'll just stop doing it, and that will crash it farther, which would keep the miners from mining. So there's a potential like risk of a downward spiral if the Bitcoin price continues to tumble. Right, and then potential fraud allegations, and then bad technicals. But in any case, the hut 8, I mean, it's just kind of a sloppy chart, I guess. This, I would like to have a better answer for this chart, because there's pretty easy or like reasonable technicals on a lot of other charts, but this one is just really sloppy. Yeah, so I'm just staying away from trading this thing just because the technicals are kind of gross. But like Mara, I've been talking about for several weeks. I think it was about 3 weeks ago. If you go back and look at my videos, you can see. Yeah, so anyway, about all of the Craig Wright crazy stuff, like I have a whole playlist, you can see it in the comments, of the Craig Wright court case information, everything like that. I should probably chop up. He has a whole series of interviews called Theory of Bitcoin, where he explains everything about the white paper and how to program on Bitcoin and all kinds of stuff like that. And he can go on for like a straight hour and a half about like this, like something you can answer in a sentence roughly. But yeah, anyway, I should probably chop that up and just be like bang, 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 and just like show exactly what he says about every part of Bitcoin in like a fast series. That's a little bit of work, but I should probably do that. But in any case, Mara, if you go back and watch all the previous Bitcoin videos, I went short on Mara back here because this is Bitcoin risk built in, and it has like bubble stock market risk built in, and it looks like a pullback, and both of those things might happen. And so anyway, this is like my big short play that I had on for the last few weeks, and it is coming down, but it hasn't like thrown a massive like red candle. But now Bitcoin is, or BTC, I don't know if we're allowed to call it Bitcoin anymore. BTC is coming down out of that bear flag, so this could happen right now. But anyway, this is a much cleaner technical picture on like Mara, and we have a generic bubble line. We blew the bull trend, and so I was like, oh, okay, I think we're probably going to go bearish, and as soon as it hooked under here, I'm like, okay, boom, this is the bear short entry spot. Not investment advice, just what I was doing at the time, and still, it's, yeah, I don't know. This is probably not like a killer good short entry spot now, just because you're like, how far is it going to go down? Like missing half the trade. But let's see, Riot blockchain, and I'll go do another video on Riot separately, because I want a video with those words in them, so that people can search for it. But I'll say a lot of the same things here in another video on Riot. But yeah, anyway, this one, has like a more bullish looking structure. It's still above kind of bullish trend lines. So again, like a short play on, you know, the BTC whole situation here doesn't look particularly pretty on Riot either. Mara's the one that has the big technical bearish look to it as far as the miners go. As far as a long play on this thing, probably, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what kind of pullback we get here and where it starts consolidating. Because I mean, if we really start coming down, you know, on BTC, like there's, you know, some support here. You got the bear channel that you could consolidate and jump off of here. I mean, the channel that we're in is immediately below. We got to break that thing first. But just say if we break through the channel here, weak support, weak support, weak support, and then this area is very strong support. You have like the serious down channel where we did the consolidation jump. You have the very long term, it's like 6 year or something, bull trend, like the bull channel support that we keep coming back to and jumping on here. So anyway, this is way down at like 14. So I think if we get down around here, I'll start being like, oh, okay, like maybe there's a long play there. But I'll just have to see what this looks like. This has the potential to rain, and we'll see what happens here. But anyway, okay, that's like the general idea. And I'm gonna go erase one of my lines on accident. I'm gonna go make another video on Riot, but yeah, not investment advice, happy trading, and watch out. Anyone who thinks Bitcoin's going to 1 million may get a little rug pull.